Okay.
So, um, so I'm Lawyer Budo. I'm a moderator on Speedrun.com, and I'm with Nicetas today. Is it Nicetas?
Yes, yes. Nice test. Yeah.
And you speedrun the game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Nicetas was kind enough to volunteer to comment Exultia. So we'll be going through Zai's run, his former world record. He actually got it back. Did you know that? Did you see the times they posted?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
57.
yeah, it's insane. It's, yeah, insane. They got it back. But the old one, I think this one is like 159. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, just under, so just under 2 hours.
Yeah, 159.50. Yeah. And so we'll be going over Exultia in a similar fashion than we did for Hell on Earth, though focusing on intermediate and beginner skips.
Yeah.
We talked about this. There's nothing too complicated in Exultia,
Hmm.
so we won't be missing out on too much. But that's about it. And Nicetas, I'll let you take it away and comment on Exultia.
Okay. So, just before I start, I want to say, general reminder. I know you probably did this in like a first episode or something, but make sure you're down patched to 1.0
Hmm.
and that you have your, or you could use your macro or scroll wheel down binded
Yeah,
because it'll help.
on the game version, yeah, we mentioned it quickly. 1.0, I think 1.1 is okay as well.
1.1 is, yeah, it's the NMG one.
Yeah, exactly. They're optimal. Technically, if you're running if it's your first run and you just want to get a run in and you don't want to worry with on patching, you can perfectly make this run with the most recent patch. You'll be slower. A few things might not work,
Hmm.
but it's still doable. So, but down patching is easy. We mentioned it earlier.
Yep.
I think I think we must have discussed it with Drake. But yeah, ideally 1.0 or 1.1, and as you just said, at least the scroll mouse for jump. That's really important.
Okay, let's get started.
Great.
Simply jump across. Nothing too special there, although you can hit a big B-hop to get across.
Yeah.
And then before you go into the fight, you grab this codex and drop down. It's faster. So here, one gargoyle spawns here, one soldier spawns here, and then two imps. And then, okay, let's get back up a little. So, one gargoyle spawns here, one soldier spawns here, two imps come down here. It's technically the first phase.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the kill order? I can't remember. I think you want to kill
It's
because
a gargoyle, soldier, and then two imps.
yeah, because I think if you kill the gargoyle and the soldier, the second phase starts
Yep.
spawning. And, yeah. Okay.
And so when he's done with this, he goes over to here. So one gargoyle spawns here, another gargoyle spawns here, and then a Kako spawns above him. But if you're on version 1.1 or 1.0, if the Kako spawns and you're right underneath it, or within the general area that Zai is going to be in, then it'll automatically die, as it thinks that it's out of bounds. So he stands in the correct areas, kills the soldier that spawns here, and the two zombies that spawn here. Simply B-hop around or over the Hell Knight. Grab Blood Punch.
Yeah, and the previous fight, all the spawns are the same all the time.
Yeah. This hallway, it's nothing really too special about it. It's just, if you want the B-hop, make sure you're standing left-hand side, as it helps a lot with getting the B-hop. We pick up air control, so it helps with overall movement and tricks. So. And so for this fight, you kill this first soldier, pick up the secret. There are two other soldiers that are always there. You kill them in order to spawn the Hell Knight, which you blood punch, grenade, and sticky. So on this bridge, one imp spawns at the end, and two gargoyles spawn at the main bridge. And so you just want to simply precision bolt them as you cross.
This section on my casual playthroughs actually gave me a bit of trouble. I got killed by this Cacodemon so many times because since you're like on the straight line,
Yeah.
if you don't land that grenade, you can die quite easily from the Cacodemon. So if you die here on your first-ish UN runs, don't worry, it's happened to people before.
I find though on Ewan, it's very helpful to. I'm not sure if he does it, but you shoot the sticky into the Kekko's mouth and begin to strafe to the right.
Yeah.
You avoid a lot of their attacks. And
yeah, and the issue is I wasn't picking up air control as well.
Yeah.
And that's very risky. And like you said, air control helps with tricks, but it helps with survivability as well, because like you can evade a Kekko's shots with air control, but if you don't have it, you're like in a line, you're in the air and he shoots, you can die because you have no way of moving. So
especially early game with no dash or anything, it's really hard.
Yeah.
This next fight, so there are two at the beginning. There are two soldiers and two imps, and one Kekko. And so you want to falter you want to sticky the Kekko, glory kill it, and then the second one spawns, and then you try to finish off the fodder that you haven't killed yet, and yeah, third one spawns, you glory kill it, and then you set up this lining as so after killing the third Kekko and all fodder, two imps will spawn here, and one spider will spawn right to the right of him. And if you kill these before going after the spider, it helps speed up quite a lot.
Yeah, the imps, they spawn, they kind of climb up the bridge from where we came, so they're just behind that red gate. So he's just gonna spam his 3 grenades from his sticky, kind of blind, but it turns out at least one of them lands. So it allows him to kill those 2 imps, because otherwise they go running around the arena, and they're a bit of a pain to deal with. So it's a really good and efficient way to deal with this fight. And the way he cleaned the fodder just there, to be honest, is not that easy. It's going to take a bit of practice for you to do it so well. Um, uh, the good news is the Cacodemon spawns, the Arachnotron spawns, and these 2 imps, their spawns are always fixed. So once you've kind of cleared the fodder, you can set up your tricks, but you're gonna miss shots. You're not gonna know exactly where everyone is at first. You're gonna kill the Caco. You're gonna have an imp running around and stuff. So don't really worry about it. But you can technically set up this trick pretty easily, even if you've missed a few shots.
And also, when you do this fight more, you begin to know the timing on the Kekko, how much time he has left in his glory kill state, to know how many like missed BB shots you can have. And also, I just recently found out when you're doing this lineup, it's actually better to shoot 2, even if they won't completely kill, because if you shoot all 3, when you're doing full auto, it'll have a 1.5-ish second delay before shooting.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
And that's why you see speedrunners full auto going off. But you probably saw it. But right before he did pull out full auto, he blood punched to get the turret off. He's getting grenade out right now. Full auto.
Yeah, so he had one sticky that didn't land, so he PBs to clear the fight.
So there's a codex to the left here, which is why you have to go straight from the keybar to there.
Oh, and I forgot to mention something, which is the first codex. You have to pick it up because you cannot fast travel back to that place.
Hmm.
There's no way to fast travel back. So
Yeah.
I remember the first time I tried to run 100%, I missed that codex. I was so angry. I was so angry.
So,
So
yeah.
be sure to
So,
remember, yeah.
on these walls, it's it really depends per person. Which way they like doing it the most. I find it much faster, much easier, simply by scrolling down consistently. But I know Drake likes to use macro setup for, which is consistent. But whichever way, you spam space until you hit the wall.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's FPS dependent. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
get used to your own PC and your own setup to kind of climb up the wall.
Mhm. Simply, oh well, you missed out, but well,
So here he punches. If you go back a bit, you could punch certain objects right there. He melees from the other side. So that's how he breaks the chain, and also that's how he ends up gaining momentum and enough momentum to land on the spinning thing. It's because he melees from the other side of the wall.
yeah. And then make sure to pick up this codex. Then you can land a nice little beat you across and chain break. Okay, so now you have dash. Dash helps a lot with movement as well as tricks that will come up even this level. Uh, the it's a little slow right now as it's not upgraded yet, but the dash is very useful on Exultia. So make sure to pick up this codex to the right, and he hops across the. So in this fight, a Hell Knight first spawns. A lot of speedrunners, what they do is drop a grenade. It's a box. They stick him 3 times, and it should kill him, or at least put him into a glory kill state. Then a soldier spawns to the left, and a Kako spawns in front. If you want, you can put a stick in his simply glory kill him, or you could do what I did, which was 3 stickies, and either 2 PBs or 1 PB and a grenade, or not grenade, just a shot from the shotgun.
Yeah.
So 1 imp spawns here. If you want to be ammo efficient, you can hit the barrel. Spawns here. And so he messed up here. But ideally, you want to chainsaw the whole night. It's just the fastest way to do it.
I'd forgotten about that. That's doom targeting.
It's pretty funny. So over here, we're now gonna do the secret encounter, as it's a lot easier to reach. So we have dash.
Yeah,
So
technically you could get there with the bunny hop.
it's very
at the
difficult
start.
though.
It's really difficult. Yeah.
So as you saw, he dashed into a death plane, sending him backwards, closer to where the Kako spawn. So it's faster as you don't have to walk over and position yourself. Instead, teleport behind them, kill them. Then you bunny hop over. Right before you go into the gate, upgrade bigger boom on a sticky bomb. This helps us. It simply increases the air effect sticky bomb has, and the rest of Exultia dealing with a lot of fodder. It's still the beginning of the game, so it's really good for groups of fodder, just groups of small enemies without like having to pump sticky bombs in.
Yeah, and there's a point which isn't that well known, but it's kind of important. Is that headshots matter in the game, and headshots with sticky bombs matter as well. And
Yep.
headshot with sticky bombs do extra damage, and I'm pretty sure they do extra AOE. So if you have extra AoE with bigger boom and extra AoE with a headshot, you're going to be able to clear fodder a lot faster
Mm.
because you're going to be killing stuff around really well. So a good example is a soldier will not die from the AoE of a grenade. For instance, if you sticky an imp and there's a soldier next to it, that soldier will be staggered, but he won't die. But if you headshot sticky the imp, it'll kill the soldier. So um, trying to land those headshots with the with sticky grenades can help a lot. And the way you know you've landed a headshot with the sticky is that it glows blue instead of red on the mob.
Oh,
Ah, you didn't know?
oh wow.
Well, well, you'll see. Now that
Yeah.
I've said it, you'll see. It's really. I mean, it's useful in the sense you know
Yeah.
you've landed a headshot, but
Okay, so here you pick up plasma rifle. It's it's in within this fight. It's not doesn't have much uses, but we'll have some coming up. So you try to PB all the fodder that. Usually, let's back up a little. Usually there's two soldiers here on the left, although occasionally one flies over here. And then the gargoyle stays up here, and the imp is anywhere. Then a revenant comes in from above, and you simply deal it with a sticky bomb. As with the bigger boom, it blows up the canister next to him, which helps deal extra damage to him. Here in the ambush thing, the Helm Knight, you deal with him by doing stickies and finishing him off, and killing the rest of the fodder, which is 2 gargoyles and 2 soldiers. And you ignore the Kako, so you have to go for the secret here. Simply get the secret. I know you guys talked about this. It's the weapon switching to cancel animation.
yeah.
It was used in a secret previously. I didn't mention it by accident. It's used throughout the run. It helps a lot time save. And so you finish these next 2 zombies. Finish off this Kako.
Really played it tight there.
Yeah. So here, this goo, it's a skip. Very easy. It should be doable. Nothing too complex. Zai does it a little weird. It leaves him without a dash after, but if you want to do it like the most ideal way, you could simply dash twice and then jump to the same spot. He likes dashing, jumping, dashing.
Oh, I didn't realize.
See, here usually you would have a dash if you the other way.
Okay.
Maybe like
Oh,
a second faster, but
maybe you want to go back to that trick so we can show the
yeah,
lineup because as you said, it's extremely easy.
yeah.
Um, it seems a bit difficult, but it's very easy. Um, explain how you at least how you line up the.
Okay, so I simply just stand at the highest most part, and then I look across. I aim just under this body, and I try to dash just under it. As if you hit it, it's sent right into the goo. So try looking towards the wall and then avoiding all the geometry.
Yeah. So what you do is you jump once, dash under the body, then jump again, and dash. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I do it differently. It's funny because I double jump between the bodies and then double dash. But
Oh,
whatever works, you know.
I guess there's many different ways of doing it.
But it's very easy.
Yes,
That's the
yes,
point.
yes.
It seems a bit difficult, and you might struggle with the first few times. Um, but it's an easy skip in truth, especially if you realize that the bodies have geometry and you kind of need to avoid them. Um, Once you get that in your head, it's an easy skip and it's a fun skip to do.
Mhm. And then you go over to the modbot and you pick up Heat Blast, which is going to be very useful throughout the run, and it saves you a lot, especially in the future. Simply dash over, and so just as before with the secret, swap cancel on the Sentinel battery, and is the same. It skips the picking up enemy. Okay, so here, this is slightly more complex. I'm sure intermediate players can get it. It's something called a dash boost, and so you sit or you stand. So my, you stand over here in this area, and you either aim towards straight up, just like Zai is, or you aim just above these rock segments. To tell, since he's not doing it, but it's just about here. You can aim here or straight up, just Zai. Simply dash while holding forward into the wall. It should send you straight up, as it is a sloped surface. You have enough height to get over here, get this codex.
So dash boosting is extremely easy. It really is easy. As Nicetas just said, you want to get on a sloped surface, hold W and dash. And for some reason, the game forgets to decelerate you, because dashes happen in two moments, let's say, acceleration, deceleration, and the game forgets to slow you down. So you're gonna take all that of forward momentum and transfer it into upwards momentum, which is what he's doing. So he's just dashing against the slope, and the game is shooting him upwards. And my advice um, uh, for dash boosts is, as soon as you've dashed, uh, you want to press backwards, press S or whatever your backwards key is, so that you don't hug the wall in front of you, because that's going to slow you down. You're going to create friction against the wall, and it's going to slow you down. You want to hold backwards, and you're going to be getting a ton of height. And the trick he just did is going to be so easy. You're going to get all the height you need. It really is as simple as getting in that little nook, holding W, pressing dash, letting go of W and pressing backwards, and you're flying in the air, and you can go get that codex without having to do the whole puzzle thing.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
And you should find the more you do it, the more dash boost spots you find, the more even on the current patch, this boost is doable. Although it doesn't save the most time, it is very cool.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I love doing dash boosts.
Yeah.
They're just so much fun.
So make sure to pick up this codex. I sometimes seem to forget it. Then so walk over these green triggers. So instead of doing the rest of the puzzle thing, you can simply turn around, go back up the climbable wall, and jump up. And
that's possible thanks to air control. You can't do it without.
Yep. And so this is a little setup for the biggest skip, I would say, of this level, or the most cool looking one. But basically, the skip is pure. It's very difficult to do on current patch. There's a tiny
It's
tiny
impossible.
area where you can get, but apart from that, it's very hard. But the skip is very doable and very easy on 1.0. It's just a matter of getting the up. So he stands on this box to get more height, so that it could get more speed out of it.
He's trying a setup here, which you don't actually have to do. If you don't actually have to do all this, because you can actually b-hop from the top floor.
Yep.
So it's bit faster, but he messes up his B hops,
Yeah.
which happens. So he goes for the normal strategy, which is to just fall down below and do the B hop from there. But even if you don't land this B hop, it's not that much of a time. I think it's like I'd say
A,
10.
a second. It's literally not that much.
Yeah, it avoids a small fight and a bit
Hmm.
of running around. But uh, as Nicetas said, it's a really cool skip, and it's not that difficult to do. It's just a B hop to land.
I'm pretty sure. I forgot who, but someone actually timed it, and they found out it's just about a couple of seconds, maybe a
Yeah.
second that saves. So it's really not big of a deal if you can. Just a few attempts, you can avoid it. And actually, some people are arguing that it's easier to do without this skip, since the fodder fight haven't really spawned in yet. But
Oh yeah, I understand.
see in the future
Yeah.
if it gets changed or not. Anyways, so if you don't want to do this whole b-hop setup that I messed up, you can simply hug the door and jump from the top down here and hit the b-hop, go across. Make sure to aim for it, it's a make sure to aim for just about here, because if you aim for past the hand, close to the hand, uh, there's a lot of invisible geometry which you'll end up hitting and falling into the fight. So you want to avoid that as it does slow you down. And then you dash. What were you gonna say?
No, exactly. You need to go a bit to the left.
Yeah. Okay, so simply dash across. Hit this B-hop. Then here's your second dash boost. Simple. This one is far easier than the first one, as all you have to do is push your body up against the vine and dash, and it somehow pops you up into the air, and you have enough height to mantle up.
It's not as cool. You really gain very little height.
Yeah, it's just enough. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then we mantle up and jump down to do our second and final secret encounter of the level. I think it's 5 lost souls that spawn, and you just simply kill them with your plasma, and that's about all that goes into it. I mean, the first one, second. So he only had to kill 3. He set off the bait, which killed a lot. When it's done, you dash over, put in your sentinel crystal, and then you. So in this fight, it's better to get the spider, which are in the first phase, out as fast as it can, because it then triggers the rest of the fight. So you target this spider first. And I like to shoot off his turret, because it can do a lot of damage, especially on the higher difficulties.
This is a hard fight.
It is hard.
On UN, the first time, your first time playing through, it's not an easy fight.
Yeah. So a lot of deaths will happen.
Yeah.
So once you're done with the spider, you go after the revenant. You want to blood punch this Hell Knight, and so a lot of the times, if you wait slightly too long, the Hell Knight is out of his spawning state. The blood punch seems to never work on him. So I try to get over to him as fast as possible, just as I did. As you can see, right as he was spawning in, right as the glow ended, he blood punched him, and it seems to hit 100%.
I didn't know that there was an issue with spawns.
Yeah. And then you, since it's 1.0 and stuff, the blood punch seems to be a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's alright. There's ways to work it, I guess. And so this next Keko, you simply glory kill it. Pick up this chainsaw, as it is important. Right?
Yeah, can you show where it is? Because
Yeah.
it's not. It's on that platform right there.
Just right.
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
Nice.
yeah. Okay. It's just here.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you get this, as the chainsaw pips will like chainsaw one of the two last spiders in this fight.
Yeah, and I'll repeat what I said in previous tutorials, which is if you don't get the chainsaw routing perfect on your first runs, it doesn't matter. It's more important that you have ammo and you chainsaw fodder. Like imagine you're out of ammo here. Don't try to plasma the Kako so you can actually triple chainsaw the Arachnotron, because that's what it doesn't matter. You're better off with ammo and a bit less chainsaw
Mm-hmm.
than the other way around. So if your chainsaw routing isn't perfect, or if you've missed a chainsaw or whatever, it's fine. Just keep pushing and keep learning the run.
I mean, there's like a difficulty and skill levels for everything. So your first speedrun, your first run through, it's definitely not going to be a record pace. So
Oh yeah.
you,
I mean, just getting 100% UN is really hard.
you really don't need to worry about things like perfect chainsaw routing, as even Zai doesn't have perfect chainsaw routing. Although they have perfect chainsaw routing when it comes to heavies and whatnot. They tend to chainsaw a lot more than do, but that's more for a matter of security. Anything else? That extra ammo does help a lot.
Yeah.
So we already got this part. So what I do, and what you don't have to do this if pressured by the spiders, but try to clear out a lot of the fodder on the way to the spider. Then we chainsaw the spider, then finish off fodder and kill the last one. Although I do something different from Zai. I kill the first one with regular ammo that I have, and then chainsaw the second, so it helps with ammo leading into the next fight.
That makes sense.
But it's whatever you feel most comfortable with. So to finish off the fodder, and then here, since we already did the spear skip, we don't need to go back around, trigger that fight to get the sentinel battery. You can simply go with the monkey bar, jump a double jump, and then dash across. So this, although I've seen some high level runners miss it, it is very easy, and it should be consistent. I would say.
Yeah, it's not that hard. But if you don't land spear skip, all you have to do is just progress normally.
Yeah.
Go through the gate, run to the battery, and you're done. There's nothing. There's nothing extraordinary there.
Oh, and if you do miss spear skip, make sure to do the secret encounter after
it's true.
this fight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the only big difference, but it's really not that big. So then you kill these 3 zombies, kill the next 2 soldiers, sticky
So
the
all
sim.
these spawns, all these spawns are the same. They
They're
always all the imps right here, the soldiers will always spawn exactly at the same place.
That's why I kind of enjoyed this fight. It's not random at all. It's really quick once you understand where it's and how everything moves. So, as you saw before in the last fight, he was charging up Heat Blast, which is the mod on our plasma rifle. And although you don't need full Heat Blast, you only need this first. He charges up to about the second one, so that he can kill all 4 fodder here at the same time in one heat blast. And then he turns his attention to the Keko, which he puts in critical state, and then kills it.
Yeah,
So that,
and you need to kill all the zombies as
Yep.
well. Those little zombies that spawn at the back, be
Mm.
sure to kill them because the gate won't open. So that's why he goes on that pillar. He stands on
Right
that
here,
pillar
yep.
exactly. Yeah, because you can see there's one small zombie on the left, on the right there, and one on the left, and he shoots the sticky perfectly between. You know, if it's your first time, be sure to kill both of them. You maybe shoot 2 sticky bombs.
Yeah,
Because
it tends to happen that you miss.
yeah, and you'll be standing in front of a gate of a red door, just like an idiot, waiting for it to disappear.
Yeah. Okay, so this fight is over. You stand right up here on this ledge. Then what he's gonna do is he's gonna double jump, and then dash dash jump, I think, to get onto here, where you can safely fight the spider without having to deal with the purple.
It's not too hard. It's kind of like the previous purple goose skip.
Yep.
It's kind of a matter of getting used to it, learning the geometry of the bones right there, and uh, getting your own rhythm down. But it's not a very difficult skip. But as Nicetas just said, it gets you're safer there because you have more movement, so it's faster because you can run around. But it's also a far better place to be in uh, if you want to deal with the spider than in the middle of the purple goo.
So especially on harder difficulties like Ultra Nightmare, saves your life.
Yeah.
So then he simply deals with the spider. Uh, he charges Heat Blast here, but some tend to not to, and then Heat Blast the last 2 zombies. So we're coming up to our what is this, third dash boost now?
Yeah, this one's a good one. A good one as
Yes,
well.
this one is a lot of fun. You just simply, so if we back up, see the area better. You just stand right about here. You try to lean up as far up as you can against the wall. Lean, you dash, and as Lloyd said before, you or back right away, and it to go.
And it's important that you actually go through the tunnel because otherwise there's an invisible wall right here,
Yep.
exactly right here, and you can't access this area unless you've gone through a specific point in the tunnel. So just go through the tunnel, and if you miss this jump and you land in the purple goo, you can actually hold forward and kind of jump your way up to this section. Spam jump and make your way to this section, even if you haven't landed this jump perfectly.
So you just simply pop up, and then you swap cancel again to pick up the next sentinel battery. And you insert it.
So many cool b-hops there.
Yeah. And so here you just you burn the dash getting to the first monkey bar. Burn your second dash before hitting dash refill, which will let you easily get into testings.
Oh yeah, I had never realized you're actually entering the body of the creature, yeah,
Yeah.
the Titan or whatever.
It's creepy. It's creepy. And so here's our third purple goose skip.
Yeah, it's true.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna stand at this edge right over here. Jump, dash dash jump to get over tentacle, or you double jump, dash dash, and go pick up boot magnet. One is it sets you to 3 chainsaw pips, which will help a lot with what's coming up. So here he does another dash boost to get out, although this one it tends to not hit. So what I've seen James do, they just simply jump up this terrain, go
Oh yeah, I spam jump. I just spam jump.
go to the terrain behind them.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems to be just about the same time. Here, you hit a nice B-hop, get this codex. And so, what a lot of runners have been starting to do is it helps a lot with Nightmare. They wait until the spider drops for security, as it won't shoot you when you're trying to do the next dash boost. But
Yeah,
he doesn't do this, and seems to risk it. But the spider still jumps anyways.
and you don't want to shoot the spider's turret at the start of this section because otherwise he'll never drop down,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll try to melee you when you're around here. So
Yeah.
you want to leave the spider alone. Best case scenario, as Nicetas just said, he drops down. Worst case, he stays up and he kind of bothers you a bit. But you know,
If he does stay up though, just make sure to shoot the turret before station.
yeah, this one is pretty hard. The setup isn't.
Yep.
It's a bit finicky. You can end up uh, um, vaulting or grabbing a ledge without really wanting to. So uh, uh, if you don't land it and you get a bit frustrated, just pick up the key normally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This dash boost doesn't really save too much time, really seconds,
Yeah.
because the intended way isn't too long either. But this one, uh, as long as you make a setup that does work, and as long as you don't mantle too much, it should save some time. So you get into about, I think, yes, right into there. And so what I do is I line up this rock, this purple rock, right here. So I want to line up this edge right so that it overlaps with this rock, just like that. And then you dash, and it should send you straight up into the air and have just enough height to reach the key. So, disclaimer: before you enter this layer gate, it's recommended that you have all 3 charges of Heat Blast, as it does help a lot, and you're not scrambling to charge it while Slayer gate. He doesn't, but his is almost close to being full charge, so that's alright.
And it's an important point is sometimes you're going to see him shooting plasma on the ground.
Yep.
And that's because that actually charges heat blast.
Mm-hmm.
Just shooting the ground charges heat blast. So he like right there before grabbing the Slayer key, he shoots randomly. It's not random. He, as Nicetas said, he wants to have 3 charges on his heat blast for the Slayer gate.
Okay, so the Slayer gate, he does something very, very advanced and very kind of RNG dependent. So this Slayer gate, usually the first phase is consistent of only fodder, imps and gargoyles. Second phase is 1 Dread Knight and a few Revenant spawn. I think it's 2, but 1 tends to die out of bounds. And if you do get lucky with it dying out of bounds, and you clear all the fodder, all you have to do is kill the Revenant and chainsaw the Dread Knight. Which, I'm pretty sure he does end up doing it. But I spoke with Zai once. I asked him for tips about hitting this more consistently. He said, after you kill a lot of fodder, make sure to prioritize gargoyles, as they tend to run away. They are usually the ones that mess up this gate from being.
That's interesting.
Prioritize those kind of in a way. Make sure to finish them all off. And so this Revenant spawn, it isn't too consistent. It's more based on standing than anything else. So it might spawn here, it might spawn to the left, it might spawn behind him. It's more a matter of standing kind of in the middle, so you have the most amount of information. It's easier for you to tell where to spawn. He's gonna use his sticky, 3 charged blast on him, as it does kill him.
Yeah, the heat blast works really well on Revenants.
Then he goes over to this Dread Knight and chainsaws him. Finishes this Slayer Gate very quickly. It's very hard to do this. It's challenging. So, for a normal playthrough, after this first wave, there'd be another second wave of this one more Dread Knight, two of Revenants, and some more fodder spawn in. Then once you finish that, the Slayer Gate should be finished. And you
Yeah, but it's an interesting mechanic.
Yep.
We're gonna use in a couple of fights in UN, so that's why
Yeah.
it's cool to mention here because um, the the game the game's logic for fights. It has conditions for phases, so it's gonna spawn certain phases if you kill certain mobs. But some fights also have general conditions uh, for ending. So specifically, this fight, it has a condition which is nothing's left alive. So um, uh, we've managed really by chance to figure out a way to kill everything. Um, and since the game's logic sees that nothing's alive, um, it ends the fight and it says, "Okay, nothing's alive, so the
Yeah.
fight's done," and it doesn't care whether or not there's a next phase. And we're going to use that in this fight. So as Nicetas said here, it's really difficult to do, but we're also going to exploit it in
Super
Taras
Gornest.
Nabad.
And
Yeah,
Super
no,
Gornest, yeah.
yeah, Super Gornest and Taras Nabad, the last Slayer Gate. We make a mockery of that Slayer Gate. It is, it's like a 10-second Slayer Gate when it's meant to be the last one and the hardest one and blah blah blah, and we blow it in a matter of seconds by using exactly that mechanic, which is
Mhm.
that the game's logic kind of overrides certain decisions. Sorry, and here it says, "Well, everything's dead, so well the fight must have ended. So congratulations, you've completed the Slayer Gate." But as Nicetas said, you're probably not going to land this on your first runs or second runs, or even get it consistently. A lot of runners have to reset if they're trying to get a world record. Um, if they don't get the fast Slayer Gate, so you're
Yeah.
not going to land it, but it's good to have this in mind because it kind of teaches you about spawning conditions, and it also teaches you about end fight conditions. So it's an interesting fight and it's an interesting mechanic.
Well, also, this Slayer Gate to get the fast gate, it's the most RNG one out of all. It's the
Yeah.
it's the lesser consistent one out of 3, and
Yeah.
so it's really hard to hit.
Yeah, because if you have a gargoyle running around,
Mhm.
the conditions are not met, so the Slayer Gate won't end.
So you simply b-hop over. Make sure to pick up the key, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
When
Good
the
point.
Slayer Gate ends, it's some people tend to miss it, and so you b-hop over, pick up this secret. So this is another dash boost. It's really not needed too much. You can go the intended if you seem to not be able to hit it. But this one is pretty easy to hit. It's also consistent as well. You just simply rub up against, aim exactly where he is, dash up, and it'll pop you up to mantle. Pick up this trigger codex.
Yeah, so that dash boost, I found that one, and I used to be uh, people in 100% didn't do it.
Mhm.
I found it because I ran NMG and I couldn't do. They had a simple trick in NMG to do this without the dash boost, but I couldn't do it, so I found a backup. It's a bit honestly, I think it's a bit difficult. It takes a bit of practice.
Yep.
Um, um, the as Nicetas said, the lineup isn't that hard. It's consistent.
Yeah.
You can get it 100% of the time, but uh, it's not very easy on your first try. You might not land it, and I promise, I think it saves like a second and a half.
Yeah.
It really does. Um, so if you don't land it, don't. It doesn't matter. You could give it a few tries because you want to learn stuff and it's fun. It's part of the pleasure of speed running. Sometimes is getting a trick down, and it's a fun little trick. But don't get frustrated because you can't land this. It really saves. Literally, we've timed it. It saves a second and a half.
It's. I remember when I was first learning it, it was a little weird because the terrain over there is a little uneven and strange due to the skull on the ground. But
Exactly.
once you do understand it, to like know where to stand, where to look at, keys to press and whatnot, it tends to be 9 out of 10, maybe 95 out of 100.
Yeah.
Get it?
But it's really important on this one that you hold backwards just after boosting because there's an
Oh.
invisible ceiling a bit above you. So
Mhm.
if you don't do that, you're never going to land this B hop. You're never gonna, not this B hop, this dash boost.
Yeah, you're
You're
just
never
simply
gonna
not gonna
succeed.
get enough height.
Yeah.
So once he gets the codex, he jumps up, and then he sets up. Not really sets up, but it's just the beginning of a more difficult trick. I would say more intermediate, be advanced. So you want to hit a B hop off of this ledge over here, and it allows you to get enough speed to then B hop on this chain. One hit kind of on the edge, and if you do hit it well, it'll propel you forward all the way to one of these platform sections. But because I didn't hit it, he didn't hit it perfectly. He still kind of hit the chain, and he's able to dash boost over to this one.
Just that.
Yeah. But if you hit it correctly, you would be able to hit this one straight out of the B hop, and then you can even skip getting dash
Oh yeah, it's true.
and go straight to the monkey bar. It saves a really good amount of time, but it's pretty difficult to hit, and you shouldn't be setting on something like that.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if it's your first run and you've made it to Exultia, this far in Exultia, congratulations. You're never resetting for anything. I don't care if you take an hour trying to do a dash boost. Just don't reset.
Yeah. Even people like Zamide or Zai or James don't reset on this.
Yeah, obviously.
So you simply go over here. This is the final arena, technically, of Exalt. So fodder begins to spawn in. People tend to shoot it, although I sometimes don't. I forget. But one thing you do have to make sure is to have full heat blast again, as it will help a lot with this fight and the routing of this fight. So in this fight is kind of special. There's not too many of these in the campaign. There's a times orb over here. So when you pick it up, it simply put, it does 4 times of your damage. So you go over, you kill this spider very quickly. It's full charged heat blast. You kill the Hell Knight wave over, and this revenant always spawns here. So the quickest way to hit it is to hit one of its rockets. I'm pretty sure it either puts it in glory kill or kills it immediately.
Yeah, hitting the rockets, hitting the weak points does extra damage,
Yeah.
so you actually kill it right out.
And then you aim for this gecko up here, just simply PB it twice. And then all you need to do with this spider is a PB, or no, not PB, sticky and grenade, and it dies. And you finish up the rest of his fodder. It depends on how many you kill throughout the fight. How many you will have left. 100, it isn't, in 100% it isn't consistent. How many you count out at the end, but just make sure that you don't hear any shooting attacks at you, and when you're done with this fight, show, and you should try when you're done with this fight to land over here before the portal spawns, as it skips the really long animation of displaying the portal itself.
Really long, being 3 seconds. But
Yeah, I'm impatient, so I count it as really long. So yeah, he doesn't manage to get it.
Oh yeah, we have the really long animation now. I'm really sorry.
Unskippable, really long animation.
It's so long. It's so long.
So here, as you can see, he did the EQ thing.
Yeah.
You can see finished Exultia 100% to the fortress part of Exultia, where you hit this. Okay, this is super advanced. It's
well, it's advanced and it isn't. It's like a dash.
True. It's advanced in the fact that it's kind of hard to hit. It took me a couple hours to learn.
Yeah, it's very hard to hit consistently, but trying it is easy. You know, it's dash and pray.
It's very near pixel perfect. I'd say that. That's what makes it so difficult. And even he doesn't hit it here.
Yeah.
But
you could get a dash boost from these guys right there.
And it just sends you just slightly further, so maybe a second faster or something. But, so on the way to the RIPatorium, you charge up Heat Blast, get the Ice Bomb, try to hit a B-Hop down, go into the elevator. There's nothing really too much exciting about this.
There really is nothing.
Yeah. And so the RIPatorium, it doesn't have set spawn points, but there's always 3. When you jump out, there's always 3 that you hit with your stickies. So, see, he does here. It's 3. Then he tries to clear out the rest. I would say a really good tip is stand on this box here. If you stand on this box, it's a great line of sight for the entire arena. You can see above this bridge, you can see below this bridge, you can see back here, you can see even behind on the ledge. So it's really quick. Clear a lot of enemies out like that. It's really good. I see he starts sitting up here.
It's not a difficult fight. No. But it's hard to get it done quickly. So you're not going to struggle with the fight on your first playthroughs, but you're not going to be very fast because the spawns are random. There's just
it's random spots, but I think Doc is correct. Probably there's 7 soldiers and 8 that spawn total. Although they spawn in waves, so it's not exact, and the spawns aren't exact. So even if you have one fast RIPatorium once, it happens probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Just try to finish it as quickly as possible and stay kind of near the portal. So here's the next kind of fun intermediate type. This one you do need the macro for. I would recommend the macro at least to make it consistent.
Yeah.
But you enter, and then right as, like, here, I'll try to get it. But it's right as the black screen is fading, you want to hit both dash and macro at the same time. It's just about here. It's blue sparkles begin to appear on your screen. You dash and macro, and it sends you up into the air. Get a lot of speed. It helps you get to this coin very quickly, and just jump back to the portal. Done with Exultia.
That's Exultia.
Yeah, that's Exultia. Uh, the it when done repeatedly, it's not too complex. Apart from the few big skips such as the spear skip or chain skip, a couple dash boosts, but those come with practice. Those very easy, consistent with practice. Just make sure if you want to get better at them, practice them. If not, there's a lot of alternatives you could do. Which only take up a couple of seconds, so it's really no big deal.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's an interesting level. It's a pretty fun level. At last, you're almost fully kitted. At least you have your dash,
Yeah.
so you get a bit more mobility, and you can start doing a few dash boosts and tricks and stuff. So it's fun, and it's not. I don't think it's one of the hardest levels for uh, in like
Mm.
the sense of difficulty.
I, I,
Um,
I wouldn't say it's too challenging,
uh,
but there's definitely potential to die. So
yeah,
watch
there's
out,
always potential to die.
especially on Ultra Nightmare. Just
Yeah. Yeah,
play
there's always potential
carefully
to
on
die.
your
Yeah.
first few playthroughs. But
Yeah, and so most of the spawns are static. It's important that
mhm,
you practice to learn where stuff spawns. And like as Nicetas said on the that arena fight, you start learning the timing on the cacos and their stagger, and you kind of know how many PBs you can get in. And that's an important part of first of all learning UN. It's going to help a lot clearing UN, but it's also an important part of 100%.
yeah.
It's getting all those small timings um, in sync because um, once you miss one, the next one's going to be slightly off, and the other one's next one, well, it's going to be slightly off, and everything's going to be off by a small beat.
Hmm.
So you're going to start missing a lot of stuff just because you've missed something really simple, say 20 seconds earlier. So it's a decent level. It's not my favorite level in the game, but it's not the one I
Yeah.
like the least either. Um, uh, I really like the second section. I'm not a huge fan of the first part, but it's it's cool to start working on your dash boost.
Hmm. Yeah.
Do you have any like final tips for runners for Exultia or in general?
Uh, in general, I would say just big thing for Ultra Nightmare. Maybe not on the lower difficulty. Just be aware. Like awareness is super important. Know what is behind you. If you're safe behind you, you should not get yourself up into a corner, as this does tend to lead to deaths. And make sure don't get don't get too mad if certain strats aren't working, because after all, people like Zai and Zai my head for a really long time, almost a year now. It's, they've done these tricks hundreds of times, and it's really nothing you should get to
Yeah,
something.
and you say hundreds, but I think Zaye has I'd say between 800 and 1,000 resets on
Yeah,
helmets. So
on NMG, yes, it's
yeah,
crazy.
so like don't beat yourself up because you're not
Hmm.
you're twice or three times slower than he is. It's normal.
I mean, everyone starts from somewhere, so
Yeah,
it's a
uh,
matter of improving, getting better.
yeah, and getting one UN 100% run in is an achievement.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh,
All right,
Well, awesome. Thanks so much.
you.
So that's Exultia. Nicetas will be doing Doom Hunter based as well.
Yep.
I'll be doing cultist based with Undeceiver probably next week. Um, so that's going to be cool. I really like cultist based. It's really a very challenging level
Yep.
for UN, but I think it's a lot of fun. Like once you kind of master it, uh, it's fun to play through again.
Right.